I'm not seeing any, other than One Wheels Drive, I'm not seeing any road repairs being made up here.
Okay,
So is that gonna be a separate subject, or?
You know what,
do you need to segue out into that?
I actually promised Corbett he could have time at the beginning of the meeting to answer those questions and then he could leave. So we'll have him answer what we're doing for roads this year. And we have a roads plan. LEI has given us a list of what needs to be done, and we are working through it little by little as we can. Corbett?
There's an asphalt company that's come up and done it.
Yeah, will you come use the mic? Thanks.
Bonneville Asphalt is a company that's come up and done a bunch of patching already. There's still a bunch of patching that still has to be done. The problem that we have is that for me to get somebody to come up here to do 1,200 feet of patches is almost impossible when they can do 3 million square feet of asphalt down in the valley. And so I take them whenever I can get them, and it's on their schedules.
What about, instead of patching, are we gonna be doing any resurfacing? Like, for
Six.
example, on Woodland Hills Drive, just past where you stop, there's like 4 or 5 extreme dips in there. If I was to drive my truck through there, or what people on ATVs call whoop-de-doos, if I was to drive my truck through there at 25 miles an hour, my back wheels would literally come off the ground. Those dips are so bad. And then when you go past Loafer towards Summit Ridge or whatever that street is, they're just as bad.
Same
There's
issue.
more dips where this road is settled. And a lot of these roads just need to be resurfaced, just not patched.
It's the same issue. We're looking at an 1.5 inch overlay when they can do 3 million square feet in Orem at 3 inches thick, or they come up here and do 40,000 square feet at an 1.5 inch thick.
But
We're stuck on their schedule.
we do have a plan.
Yeah, we have a plan, but our plan depends on them having time in their schedule to come up here and do it. I mean, we can try to put our feet down, but guarantee you'll pay double, if not triple, to get the same work done. If you're gonna demand them to come at a certain time, then it's just,
Can you talk about the plan for Loafer?
I'm still waiting on Geneva.
Well, but
Yeah, so the
there
plan
is
is,
a plan.
the plan is to do a fabric and an overlay on Loafer Drive where we install sewer. Again, it's waiting on Geneva to come up here and, I mean, waiting on Geneva to give me a bid and then come up and do the work. But nobody wants to come up here and work. There's not enough work up there to do it. Besides that, they go through a set of brakes on every truck they bring up the hill just to try to come up and down to do the work. And so that's, I mean, if somebody wants to take over and do the scheduling, here's my please.
So Corbett works hard to stay on their good side so that they like them, so they want to come. So,
Is that plan documented? You say you have a plan, but is it documented or stored anywhere?
yes, yes. And Jody, you have the LEI roads thing. If you want to come into the city offices, you can see it. Okay, we're going to move on and talk about fiber to the home. Anybody interested in fiber to the home?
Yes, please.
Okay. I'm going to start my timer so that I can keep on schedule. Okay, we have what's called an RFI, request for information, that we finally completed. It's finally been completed. Chris Helvey, our financial director, got the final numbers back from the attorneys today. He has called them every single day for the last few weeks. I think so, because I've called him every single day and he's called me back. So we will put that out. He said, okay, it's a request for information. So we have compiled a document that explains exactly what we want, infrastructure that we want to have installed in the city. And then we're requesting companies that are interested to tell us if they can do this and how. If they can do it, how they would propose to do it. We have it's about a 7-day time period for them to say, we intend to respond. And then they have about 14 days after that to respond. At that point, then we will either go to an RFP, which is a request for proposal. So, or we will go, depending on the interest that's shown, we may be able to go directly to installation. We'll have to just see, according to, and on the advice of our attorneys. What the plan is, and correct me if I'm wrong, I'm still on this massive learning curve myself personally, so forgive me. But the plan is that we are going to run fiber through the whole conduit with fiber through the whole city. This, as a city government, we are going to utilize some of that fiber for city services to provide some city things. We can fund that through our general fund. We will provide a special service district that will be optional for anybody that wants to join. And so homeowners can now pay to run the fiber from the street to their home. You can pay for it yourself up front, or we will do a special service district that anybody that wants to can opt into, that will, so that you'll basically be part of a bond that can pay it over, is it 10 years? Okay. So that you can pay for it across about 5 years in a monthly bill, so that you would kind of pay that when you pay for whatever for whatever internet service you sign up for. Then you'd also pay you'd pay that fee. So,
Can I just ask, when you say pay it, what is it? To run the fiber through the city or?
no, from
the
the road to your house, and that will be optional if you want to participate. So, other than that, what we will put in through the city will be paid for in the general fund. Okay, Beth?
If a property owner moves and they sell the property, is that fund attached to the property, so if they sell, they have to pay it off before they sell?
No, it would be, they have to pay out before the sale? Okay.
So
It'll be-
it's a lien, basically?
It's gonna be roughly $1,200, $1,500. It's not huge, but it's still gonna be over $1,000.
So the new resident won't just assume the monthly, it'd have to be paid off when the property changes hands?
That's still being worked out.
Okay, but that's the likely way that it would happen. Okay, Diana?
New construction, would that be required? Is that something we might want to consider? I think that
See, that's a good question. Write
Okay.
that down. Will somebody write that down? Would we require new construction to put the fiber in? Okay, I saw a hand over here.
Just to avoid the road, torn up.
Aaron?
I can see requiring putting the utility in the new development area, but not to each home. If a new homeowner moves in and says, I've never had any interest in fiber, just like those of us that are currently here, we can choose whether or not we want to pay the cost for fiber on just adding to our home. And that doesn't affect anything on the public space. It's only my personal property that has to get torn up for putting fiber from the road to my home.
Okay, sure. Or,
You can change your development standards to require the conduit, but not the fiber. The conduit, when you're building a home, the conduit would cost you $50
okay,
because the trench is open.
right.
And then if they choose to participate, then they can run the fiber at that point.
Okay.
But
Oh.
instead of paying $1,000 or $1,200 to excavate and run
Right.
the conduit, require the conduit installed.
To just go in when the home is being constructed. Tom?
I'm just curious what the price break is, if you had it, when they're laying the conduit, if you had it to your house at that time or later, is it gonna be more to do it later, or do you get a discount because the crew's already there?
That's what the RFI's for.
That's one of the reasons
The
we're
RFI's for,
doing.
we
That's,
can get back, the information's coming back.
but basically,
You better repeat what Chris just
oh,
said.
okay. Well, also Tom asked, is there going to be an incentive on the front end if you do it now, as opposed to waiting until later, right? And Chris said that's one of the.
whole is dug, it's.
Right. And so Chris said that that's one of the things in the RFI is they're going to tell us what they're going to charge to go to the homes. If you don't participate on the front end and then you later want to add on, it's just on you. You're just gonna have to call somebody, find out what they're gonna charge you to trench to your house and put it. And so, if you're really good, guy, you might be able to get a better deal at that point, but I would suspect that for most people, it will cost you more if you wait.
Mobilization and nothing else.
Mobilization, yes, quota says. Did you have another comment? Oh, yes, thank you. Diana?
Does the city charge a fee if someone does, like you said, you got to email a guy, you want to do it later? Does the city charge a fee to connect to that asphalt? Because I hope so.
Oh.
I hope we charge a big fee if
Well-
someone decides later to cut it.
Well, when we put the fiber in, it's going along the edges of the road, so we won't have to cut asphalt. And where we
We'll go on both sides.
need to cross, we'll cross already. So we won't be cutting asphalt to add fiber later to homes. Lynn, did you have your hand up? Okay.
Mark.
Mark.
There's
Oh,
Mark.
there's Mark's hand. Mark's hand masquerading as Lynn's hand.
So I didn't quite understand. So if you're only putting it down one side,
Both
how do you get that? So you are putting it down both sides?
Chris?
So when fiber's designed, fiber will be designed to go to every single home and every single lot.
Will there be a jumping box there or something?
There's a couple different technologies, so yes, there's some kind of junction box, J box,
Okay.
different things that they.
So he said, when the fiber's put in, the engineering will be engineered to deliver fiber to every home. I don't know all the technical details of that, but we won't have to cut the road again if Ruben has a bad attitude and he doesn't want fiber now and comes back in 5 years. We're not gonna have to cut the road. Yes, sir.
I'm guessing if this was to be done, I would hope that it would be done before any road repairs are made.
Yes, please.
We're hoping to,
The other way.
I mean, typically, you usually have 2 weeks after the road is repaired.
right. We're hoping that too. The problem is, if we can't get it done this season, we don't want to let the roads sit through the winter, so it's a Solomon's choice sometimes on that. But we're hoping for that. We're doing everything we can. But we don't want to wait till the snow flies and they shut down the asphalt for the season before we do some repairs that need to be done this year.
Does it cause a problem with snowplows?
It does cause us problems, big problems with the snowplows. Any other questions or comments on fiber? We're really hoping to provide the opportunity for you guys to have good high-speed internet service with some choices, so that we have some competition and not a monopoly. So that's one of the reasons that it's kind of been held up is because that's been a difficult thing. We're a small market. We're not particularly attractive to companies. So, yes.
So we're doing the RFI this week, RFP or whatever, the next couple of weeks. From that point, when do you guys kind of expect it to be done? Are we just kind of like the road situation where we're at the
Whenever.
vendors beck and call and they want to get up here, or?
It depends on who we award the bid to. But one of the vendors has told us that they could start immediately as soon as if we award them the contract. And that they thought they could have build out, how fast did they say? 3 months?
Without snow,
Yeah.
It's gonna be relatively quick. One of the companies, the other companies, the RFI is gonna tell us a lot, obviously.
Yeah.
3 months
We'll know
without
more
snow
when we get the RFI back, but the one company said they thought they could do build out in 3 months, but that would not be in the middle of the winter. So we'll,
I'm just curious, these junction boxes that you speak of, where are they going to be? Because on our, are you going straight to the road from the house, or are you going at an angle? Is it,
I have no
some
idea.
houses it's 200 feet, some houses it's 80 feet.
Right.
Are you guys playing with that at all?
Tom's got that arrow in the driveway.
It'll come, part of that'll come in the RFI.
Okay.
So we'll have,
I
but,
didn't know if it's like at the end of each driveway or a straight line, because if I'm at the end of my driveway, it's a lot farther than a
Right.
straight line from my house.
from the house. I'm hopeful that they're smart enough to know to put them as close to the homes as they can, but
Okay, all right, just,
I don't,
well, you guys could ask them.
That's a good question to ask,
to
yes.
Consider that.
thank you, that's good. I don't know.